Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Student AI Learning Series. I'm Garrett Berliner, a Technical Program Manager here at Microsoft and an Oregon State University alumni.
Hi, I am Emily Rothrock. I am a software engineer here at Microsoft, and I am a University of Virginia alumni.
And today we're going to be talking about tooling, both local tools on your computer and external tools that your computer can call through things called MCPs or multi-context protocols.
Yep, and a really good analogy to think about this is that Copilot is the brain, and then these tools, MCPs, and then built-in tools that Copilot has under the surface are the hands. These tools allow us to go and access the internet, and then also go and do things in your file system. And you can give permissions to Copilot to decide as to whether you want Copilot to have access to the entire directory or just a folder. It just allows Copilot to actually do the things you prompt it to do.
Yeah, so let's get started by navigating to the GitHub Copilot app. Before we jump into the prompt, let's first showcase where these photos are on our computer. So we have this file path, and we have 3 different folders with specific images of different trails in the Pacific Northwest. So Mount Rainier, North Cascades, and Olympic. And within here, we have a bunch of different beautiful photos. So we want Copilot to find these, and then we're going to ask them to upload them to our portfolio. So now let's jump back into the GitHub Copilot app. Okay, so we have this prompt. Search for the specific photos folder that we just showcased and grab multiple trip photos to add to my personal website. Also, we want to find a specific good public photo of Mount Rainier that we can use from the internet. And then we're asking Copilot to show us the photos.
From this prompt, there are certain keywords that signal to Copilot what type of tools that it should call beneath the hood. So for example, when it sees internet, it knows that it needs to go fetch an image from the internet and call the proper tool for that. And then when it sees, get some photos from a folder on my computer, it knows that it needs to call tools to go and do some searching through our directory. So as you can see here, Copilot is calling the tools that it has at its disposal to go and search for the photos that we asked it to. And then at the bottom, we can see that it actually managed to find it, and it's telling us where it's pulling the photos from in our computer.
Sure. Exactly. And it also found a public internet photo to use. So now that the photos have been found, we have another prompt to get these photos onto our portfolio website. So we're saying add all of these images, specifically after the hobby section, and we're creating a new photo section.
Also, a quick note that every time Copilot calls these tools, it will increase our context, and it also uses tokens. All right, our prompt is done, so let's open it in Canvas and see what it created.
Okay, perfect. So it's open in Canvas. Let's full screen it, and let's go see the photo section. Here we go. Trail journal photos. Incredible. And it noted that it was like a little PowerPoint slideshow presentation, which it shows right here. Next, what we want to do is we want to do another type of tool call. We're going to make a PowerPoint presentation out of this. So we have this prompt already pre-established, asking to make a PowerPoint presentation of all the images that were grabbed and provide a brief caption along with a nature-themed background.
To create this PowerPoint, Copilot is using its built-in tooling to actually go and write code that puts the presentation together. And we can see that it's done now, so let's go open it, see what we have.
Yeah. And the really cool thing is that it kind of overarching just describes what it does, but it does it all under the hood. So here's the PowerPoint open. As you can see, a little simple nature background of the Pacific Northwest trip. Similar descriptions to what we provided on the website. And this is just another example of the tools that GitHub Copilot can use. Awesome, it created the PowerPoint. Now we're gonna head back to the GitHub Copilot app and talk about the other type of tool, MCPs.
MCP, or the Model Context Protocol, it allows an AI agent to make defined calls to external tools.
Yes, and so on the GitHub Copilot app, if we navigate to this little settings menu here, you can see right here clearly there's an MCP server section, And here are predetermined, pre-created MCPs for people to choose from. A few of these might be covered in the series later, but specifically for this example, we're going to do one called Playwright, which allows an AI agent to access the browser. So we're just going to click this little plus icon here, and then everything's kind of pre-configured, and we're just going to click Add Server, and it's going to take a second to load, but then once there's a green check mark, we're going to be able to use this MCP. Awesome, so it looks like the MCP was all set up, it's connected.
Let's make a new session within the portfolio website so that we can ask Copilot to do an entirely different task, since we don't want to share context from the last session.
Exactly. So we have this predetermined prompt. We're going to use the Playwright MCP that we just installed to provide a screenshot of the latest news on the Microsoft developer website. It's going to ensure the screenshot captures at least 3 stories, and then also provide us an overview of the latest developer news at Microsoft. Okay, as you can see, the prompt, Playwright doesn't seem to be working, but that's because the default browser that Playwright uses is Chrome, and on this machine, I do not have Chrome installed. So I'm going to say, ensure Playwright's default browser is Edge, not Chrome. And so there we go. It's restarting the Playwright MCP with Edge, and it's going to try to recapture our prompt.
And if you use a browser besides Edge or Chrome, you might also need to prompt, just like we did, to tell Playwright to change from its default. There are hundreds of thousands of MCPs that are out there on the internet that you are welcome to go and try and add yourself, and it will give Copilot even more functionality than what it already has.
All right, the prompt just finished, and it notes that we have to restart the Copilot CLI session for the Edge default to fully take effect. So I'm just going to go up here and start a brand new chat session and do the same exact prompt. Ah, there we go. As you can see, the agent opens the browser on our behalf. It's navigating to the top stories. And if I go back to the chat,
Looks like it saved a screenshot.
but it didn't fully complete the task. It only grabbed 2 out of the 3 stories, so it's going to rerun that.
Cool, it looks like our agent finished running. Let's go look and see what it did. So we can see that it did give us a screenshot, but it only did 2 stories instead of the 3 that we prompted it for. So it goes and tries again, and it looks like it fails. So just a quick reminder that AI is not infallible, and that it might not always give you exactly what you want when you prompt it.
Yeah, but it seemed that it expanded the page so that all 3 stories were shown in 2 separate screenshots instead of 1 screenshot. But it still did complete our second part of the ask that kind of gave an overview of the most recent news. So this was recorded at the end of July, and it seemed the major theme is AI agents. Very fitting.
So this is a great example of how you can use Playwright in what you want to do for your own projects. So to do a quick recap, today we went over tooling. Remember that Copilot is the brain and tools are the hands that it uses to do things. We have tools that are built in, and then if you want to use external tools, you can do that through the Model Context Protocol.
Yes, thank you so much for joining us again. Make sure to check out all of the other amazing episodes in this series and check out all the links in the description. Have a great day.
Thank you.